Hi, I'm Jake Moore, and welcome back to Troub News.
And I'm Ashely Myers, and we're broadcasting live all the way from
Nation's Newsroom.
And this is why it is so important to understand.
During National Lutheran Schools Week, Nathan McCord, Jan Steinberg, and Ashely Myers were recognized in chapel and awarded the You Serve Christ Award. 3 students of the graduating class are nominated by faculty as people that have shown exemplary Christian service. These 3 seniors have shown their servant and leadership qualities and have served Christ around the school and in the community. We can all follow their example and serve everyone and everywhere with a Christ-like attitude. Congrats to Nathan, Jan, and Ashely.
And now it's time for sports with Cam.
And Taylor.
Sports with Cam and Taylor.
Boys basketball won 52-48 against John Burroughs, but lost to Lutheran North 62-47.
Girls basketball won 46-34 against John Burroughs, and also won 47-46 against Lutheran North.
Thanks, Cam and Taylor. With Valentine's Day just around the corner, we thought some advice on love was needed.
We have a special interview with the All Things Relationship duo, Mr. Rush and Miss Temple. Here's their advice on love.
What is your view on high school relationships?
I am not a fan of serious, lifelong planning high school relationships. Young men and women in high school do not have the life experience they need to make a determination on this very serious issue. In the long run, high school relationships that are very serious are usually more detrimental to future relationships, because when you give a part of your heart away to anyone, you don't ever get it back. It also leads to premature sexual relationships that most couples later regret.
All right. How far is too far?
In my opinion, sexually, there's only one rule, and that's God's rule. And that is any sexual relationships before marriage are wrong. As far as dating, and I think you need to share these rules with each other in a dating relationship. Holding hands, hugging, and making out as long as you're standing up are fine. Anything that involves touching below the neck is bad. We are designed to be sexual creatures, and when the mood hits, it's very hard to stop.
What is the appropriate dating age?
For me, 16. If you can be out driving, I think that's probably okay, and that's usually by end of sophomore, junior year, and I think people are mature enough to handle that.
What is the appropriate date setting?
Date setting, anywhere you can be held accountable. I think it's a rule that you should never be alone together because it's too tempting. So public places and anywhere where friends and family know where you are going to be.
What is the perfect high school Valentine's Day date?
I would say flowers for the girls purchased by the men. A way to a man's heart is through his stomach, so girls make the boys a sweet treat or buy them one. Maybe a romantic comedy at the theater, which are very fun for couples. Guys, you're going to have to suck it up. I would say maybe a nice inexpensive dinner, because you are not making bank and you shouldn't be spending it. And I would say have it be fun and not so serious. Have a good time, enjoy dating, but not be so serious. I truly believe the art of dating has been lost by your generation. Have fun, learn how to talk to, communicate, and court members of the opposite sex, and don't have it be too serious until you're ready to put a ring on it.
What is an interesting way for a girl to ask a guy to backwards?
Well, one could focus on some feature the girl knows the guy does well. Talk about how you admire that. And then you talk about how you would like to get to know him better. Would you go to the backward stance? That makes sense to me. But I'm probably 60 years out of date.
What should a guy get a girl for Valentine's Day?
Something that is not practical. Something that is beautiful. Roses are a good idea because women love flowers. Or candy, but not practical. Very delicious candy. maybe even decadent candy like chocolate.
What should a girl get her guy?
What should a girl get her guy?
Mm-hmm.
What does he like?
Anything, I don't know. What do you think would be a good idea?
Well, that's a tough one to answer because, you know, you have all kinds of guy personalities like you do girls. You have a nerd, you have an athlete, you have a variety of personalities, and that would dictate what one would get. So it's hard for me to focus in on that unless I have more detail.
All right. What is your idea of a perfect Valentine's Day date?
One that I had fun with. No, one that after the experience I had a good time. That's all I would expect on a date. I'm not proposing to her. I'm on a date.
How does a guy pick up the ladies?
How does a guy pick up a lady? How would you define pick up?
Like ask them out.
Oh, not something else. Good. How would a guy pick up a lady? Same thing that I said before. You would compliment the lady on something she does well. And then I would say, I would like to get to know you better, and would you go to the backwards dance with me, or whatever event that you want to take her.
How does the girl get the guy?
Same way.
Same way? All right. Thank you, Mr. Rush.
Boy, that was easy.
Wow, I certainly learned a lot.
Me too, Jake. Now, I have to ask, do you have a date for Valentine's Day?
Why, of course, Ashley. February 14th.
And now it's time for Weather with Hope.
On Valentine's Day, it's supposed to snow, then get up into the 50s and 60s, and then it's supposed to chill down a little bit.
Thanks, Hope. And now it's time for Real World News. In Kyiv, Ukraine, on Friday, January 31st, protesters seized a government building in the Ukrainian capital while also maintaining their siege on several governors' offices in the country's west, raising the pressure on the government. After meeting with the president of Ukraine for several hours late Thursday, opposition leaders told the crowds that they had promised to ensure the release of dozens of protesters detained and clashes with the police. They urged the protesters to maintain a shaky truce following violent street battles in the capital, but were booed by the demonstrators eager to resume clashes with the police. A truce was held, but early Friday protesters broke into the downtown building of the Ministry of Agricultural Policy, meeting no resistance. The demonstrators allowed ministry workers to take their possessions, but will not allow them to work. In reaction to the ongoing violence, the U.S. State Department has already pulled the visas of several people deemed responsible for the government actions. The White House spokesman, Jay Carney, would not say Thursday whether the Obama administration believes the Ukrainian president will step down to end the crisis.
On Wednesday, February 5th, a deadly fire and explosion broke out down in Sewell to let out toxic gases. A natural odor broke out at the corner of Menard and Shenandoah around 1 p.m. as firefighters fought a fire from a 3-story brick building. An immediate evacuation was ordered, and 11 occupants were able to get out safely without injury. Moments later, an explosion occurred, blowing the windows and sending flames to all 3 stories of the building. According to the building manager, a crew was installing fiber line when a sub-coordinator working on the AT&T project hit a gas line. Gas filled the basement and is believed to have sparked the explosion. Emergency crews evacuated homes along the 2200 block of Menard as levels of gas were still in the area. Thankfully, no one was injured in this fire, and all residents have been allowed back into their homes.
Real world sports. The 2014 Olympic Winter Games will be the first time that the Russian Federation will have hosted the Winter Games. The Soviet Union hosted the 1980 Summer Games in Moscow. The host city, Sochi, has a population of 400,000 people and is situated in Krasnodar, which is the 3rd largest region in Russia.
The games will be organized in 2 clusters, a coastal cluster for ice events in Sochi and a mountain cluster located in the Krasnaya Polyana Mountains for boarding events. This will make it one of the most compacted games ever, with around 30 minutes travel times from the coastal to the mountain cluster.
Jamie Anderson of Team USA won the gold medal in ladies slopestyle snowboarding on Sunday. Team USA also picked up a bronze medal in team figure skating.
USA is currently tied with Russia for 4th.
That is real world sports.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Troub News.
See you next week, and don't forget to
Stay golden, Lutheran South.